From the Nifty Studios and Paper Chase Productions comes a scholarly episode of Tales from the Trenches, dramatizations of cases ripped from the advance sheets. Today's episode, The Sage Teaches Acting in Concert. It's September, and as the summer sun blazes slowly into our rearview mirrors, newly hired ADAs are busily learning their craft, perhaps beginning their studies at Nifty's Summer College and the basic course for prosecutors. But every office has their own training regimen, and the Sage's office is no exception. We've arrived outside the heavy mahogany doors to the Sage's "I can hear you talking." Terribly sorry, Your Excellency. Today we find the Sage meditating on the issues of the day, sequestered inside his opulent chambers deep within the Appeals Bureau. He's left instructions that no one is to disturb him until it is his time to lecture the new class of ADAs. We join him now as he prepares himself. I do not understand the need for further instruction of the new ADAs. Are they not attorneys? Have they not successfully completed their education at rigorous schools of law? This all seems so redundant. My time could be better spent on my current project of cataloging baseball analogies in a court of appeals decisions, or even better, watching Ohio State football. Meanwhile, a newly hired ADA is given the unenviable task of informing the Sage that it's time for class. She nervously approaches the opulent chamber doors. Why have you come to see me?
It's time for your lecture, Your Magnificence.
Very well. Be gone. At the podium, the Sage begins his address to the new ADAs. You have all come to this office with skulls full of mush. It is my task to take your mush-filled craniums and turn you into functioning prosecutors. That brings me to our topic today. Mr. Smart, can you tell me about the case of People v. Ramos, decided on July 6th of 2023 from the 4th Department?
Me? I didn't read it.
How was this possible? The case was decided in July. You've had over a month.
Well, I can't read every case that comes out. I mean, that's a lot of...
Silence. Here's the decision. Take a look. Now, can you tell me what happened here?
Okay. The trial evidence established that Ramos appeared to have dropped off the co-defendant shooter near the bar before the shooting. The shooter went in the bar and shot and killed the victim. There was also testimony from a jailhouse informant that defendant Ramos said that he planned and participated in the shooting of the victim because the victim was cooperating with law enforcement. So anyway, Ramos was convicted of, looks like murder 2 under a theory that he acted in concert with the shooter.
Not bad. So what happens next?
Ramos appealed to the 4th Department, claiming there was insufficient evidence to convict him at trial.
Yes, of course. And what did the esteemed justices of the 4th Department rule?
Let's see. Well, the court used their factual review power and found that the jailhouse's witness testimony was at odds with the other evidence in the case, including, I guess there was video evidence, so including the video evidence. So the court determined that it was unreliable and rejected it? Hey, can they even do that?
Your legal prowess is inspiring, Mr. Smart. Can they do that? Miss Woods, what do you think?
Totally. For sure they can do that. In fact, the court court said it's part of their constitutional duty to conduct a factual review of the jury's findings, and they cite People v. Danielson. And the court also says they are to act as a second jury, People v. Delamata.
Well done, Miss Woods. Well, Mr. Smart, since the court found the informant's testimony not credible, what is the result?
Huh? What? Me again? Okay. Well, the court said that without the testimony from the informant, there was no evidence that Ramos planned or participated in the shooting, or, for that matter, that he knew the victim had been cooperating with law enforcement.
Good, good. And this leads the court to what conclusion?
That there was no evidence of Ramos's intent to kill the victim, maybe? But Ramos wasn't the shooter, so,
Oh, Miss Woods, care to help your colleague out?
Oh, for sure, Your Eminence. Well, Ramos and the shooter were co-defendants, charged with committing intentional murder too, under an acting in concert theory. This theory is found in Penal Law Section 20.00, which says that a person is criminally liable for the criminal act of another person when, and this is so important, they act with the mental culpability required for the commission of that crime. And they basically request or aid the other person in committing the crime.
Yes, that is an adequate start, but can you expand on your answer?
Totally. So to prove that defendants are acting in concert, the people must prove that they shared a community of purpose. Like, both the defendants must have the intent to kill. And that intent has to be fairly deducible from the proof, and that the proof exclude any other purpose.
You are no doubt alluding to People versus Jenkins, decided in 2022 in the 3rd Department.
Well, duh.
Well, duh. Is this some sort of legal term that I am ignorant of?
As if! It means like it's totally obvious I'm talking about Jenkins.
Very well. Mr. Smart, if you were to hazard an attempt at summarizing the principles of law we've learned here today, how would you do so?
Okay. I'd say, number one, that the New York State Appellate Division has the power to review the facts from the trial court and can make findings of sufficiency and credibility of those facts. And number two, I'd say that to prove the defendants committed a crime under acting in concert theory, the people must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that both shared the requisite mental culpability for the commission of the crime.
Very good. Well, I'm afraid we're out of time for today, as I must return to my opulent chambers for a pressing meeting. This has been another educational episode of Tales from the Trenches. This episode was based on People versus Ramos, decided on July 6, 2023 by the 4th Department. For a complete list of authorities relied upon in this episode, and much, much more, visit the Tales from the Trenches page on Prosecutor's Encyclopedia. This episode was written, produced, directed, and performed by your friends here at NIPTY. And don't forget to tell your friends and students about Tales from the Trenches. And be sure to subscribe to the NIPTY podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. So be sure to join us next time on Tales from the Trenches, when we learn what the Sage's pressing meeting was all about. I'm glad you're here, Bellacosa, my friend. Well, of course. Here's your popcorn. And now, let us listen to the football game. Until next time.